Well, good evening, folks. It is the eve of the FSU Miami game. Tomorrow, 3:30 ABC at Hard Rock Canes, FSU for the 63rd time. You got on ABC Brock Hewitt, the analyst, Bob was using play-by-play, and also Josh Darrow. I'm sorry, Lauren Williams on ABC. The 990 crew in Spanish. You can, if you have watching in Spanish, it's on ESPN Deportes in South Florida here, and of course on QAM you have Joe Z, Don Bailey Jr., and Josh Darrow. Don't have to tell you what this means. 63rd meeting tomorrow, Canes FSU. Couple things I'm going to look for in this ball game tomorrow. The matchups to watch in this game. What I'm going to be looking for in this ball game, you got to watch, to me, here's what I've got to watch tomorrow, according to our friends to Rubenstein over at Canes Warning. And he gives a very good piece, by the way. Couple things I want to look at in tomorrow's game. Cozy's first FSU start in this rivalry. And you got to see how will he handle the pressure tomorrow. That's going to be a key to the ball game, to me. How will Cozy deal with the pressure for the first time of his first start? To me, I have to look at how will Cozy do. Yes, Malik has worked with him since Cozy became the guy. One thing I've got to look for. You know this about FSU. Last year was crucial that we ended the streak. Can FSU's offensive line block our front seven? That's going to be very important. We are the best defense in the country at tackles for loss. We average 12 a game. FSU is 123rd in the nation in allowing tackles for losses per game. They average 8.6. We haven't been as good rushing the quarterback as we were last year. And FSU has 2 starting left tackles in the game. New. It is going to be a tough assignment to go against JJ99 and Jonathan Garvin on the outside. That's going to be very key in this game. How will their new tackles deal with G. Will 3 up the middle? He's probably the best defensive tackle in the country. He's third in tackles for loss per game on an average of 2.1. And he has 10.5 total, which is leading the country nationally in a tie. Garvin is also the national leaders in tackles for loss with 9.5, which is 1.9 a game. 11th there. Let me tell you. A thing I'm going to be looking for in this ball game is 2 things. What is FSU going to be able, again, like I said, can they block our front seven? That's going to be an important key in this game to me. The running game, to me, has got to get it going in this game since Cozy took over from Malik. And that's been the big story. But the running game is starting to really crank it up a little more. In the last 4 games since the LSU debacle, we've rushed for over 200 yards. We've had 2 backs, Travis and DJ, both on pace to get an 800-yard rushing season. DJ has run for over 102 the last 3. Travis, another 100-yard game against FIU, in between DJ's 100 against Toledo and Carolina. Travis has 400-yard games in his career. As a team, we're 32nd in the country in rushing yards per game. And just 83 in the opener. Okay? And that's going to be the one thing, again, a couple things I'm going to be watching in this game tomorrow. So, that's one thing I've got to look for in this game. Another thing I want to look for here is how can we run the ball and run the clock and then break down FSU defense. Hello, Duck. How you doing? Good to see you. If we do that, we win easily. Now, another question that's got to be asked in this game is, how can FSU's offense run against our defense? That's going to be one I really look at. FSU's offense, folks, is 97th in the country. Yes, we held LSU to 115 in the second half, but that was after they got 181 in the first half. Yes, they're deceiving. Yes, we dominated FIU and Savannah State, who's going to D2 next year. They allowed 78 against Savannah and 187 against FIU, after the FIU got only 15 in the first half. And with the second and third team defense in the game in the fourth quarter. Yes, they allowed 17 points. Carolina had better luck moving the ball against the defense. And so did Toledo, 334 Toledo, 329 Carolina. Toledo scored 24 points, and they turned the ball over just once. Carolina had 6 turnovers and scored 10 points, and our defense scored 3 of those touchdowns by themselves. The one thing I got to see Hard Rock be tomorrow is absolutely electric. I have to see that tomorrow. I really have to see where the Canes are tomorrow. This crowd has got to be in it early. Have to be electric in this game. Be that 12th man. And absolutely dominate tomorrow. I've said it's going to be close for a half tomorrow. Before the second half, the Canes start to take over and win going away. To me, how does Cozy do in his first start against FSU? Will our running game get going? I say it will. Will it be as dominant against FSU as it was against Carolina? I think even more so. And how will their line hold up? Because their line is absolutely in shambles right now. Yeah, they've had their moments, but we don't know if Dickerson for them is going tomorrow. And that's their big piece. Without Dickerson, that line is just horrible. Okay? That line is just terrible. Okay? Now, what I've got to look for in this game is a couple of things. We have got to play better than we did last week. Now, number one, I think we have to do 2 things in this ball game tomorrow. One, we have got to run the football. To me, here are the keys. 1, run the football. 2, get Cozy going. 3, get the turnover chain out at least twice, if not more. FSU does not have the weapons to hang with us for 4 quarters tomorrow. Now, because it's a rivalry, and I understand the rivalry, anything can happen, I say it's close for about a half. But by middle of third quarter, you start to see the Canes start to take over, and you start to see the Canes winning this game and pulling away middle third on. You start to see the running game get going. You start to see the offensive line start to take over, and you start to see the defense really impose their will on FSU, and our offensive line starts to wear FSU down for 4 quarters tomorrow. That's what I've got to look for. I'm going to be looking for those tomorrow. The thing on FSU this end is, how will Francois do against that Cane defense? What will he do? That, to me, is the key. That, to me, will be key in this ballgame tomorrow. The way I look at it is, you cannot fall behind early. You cannot take this team for granted. Yeah, I know it's a rivalry, but you have got to put your foot down on FSU and stay and keep your foot on the gas for 4 quarters tomorrow. To be honest, I don't think we played our best game of the season. I really don't. I really think there's still more to do tomorrow. There really is more to do in this ball game. Now, as Cam Underwood mentions on State of the U, there's some things I took a look at when I read Underwood's piece. I was at Doak last year. We won 24-20. Now, Willie Taggart, let's think about it. FSU has got a lot of weapons, but here's the problem. Number one, it's a lot different than what Jimbo had. Who starts tomorrow? Is it Francois or is it Blackman? I think it's going to be Francois we see tomorrow. Yeah, yes, they still have some good talent in Akers. He's short. He's very tough. He had 121 yards last year against our defense. And you know Jock Patrick's an absolute beast. You had Laborn, White, and Rasul. And they got a lot of options there. Wide receiver, you know they got Murray, Gavin, and Campbell. Murray's their big play guy. So look for that. Look for FSU to try to get the ball in Murray's hands. Campbell's a big receiver, 6'4", 210, and Gavin's also big, 6'3", 225. But their hands have been issues. There've been issues there with their hands. FSU's tight ends are horrible. I mean, let's call it what it is, ladies and gentlemen. They are absolutely horrible. Now, when I look at their offensive line, I think I mentioned that earlier. I think over time, that offensive line will get better. But when you look at their D-line, they have several players that can play in the league. Like Burns, which you know we're going to have an issue with him tomorrow. That means, and whoever goes against Burns is going to have to understand that you cannot have him by himself because he will absolutely kill you. Ditto for Kendo on the other side and Christmas up the middle. That our line is going to have to step up and have a big game tomorrow. Yeah, I think the special teams too has to play well, and I'll get to that in a moment. When you look at FSU's linebackers, yeah, they got Jackson, who's a very good linebacker, but they're going to need to find other playmakers there. Their depth is in the back end. They get Westbrook back. Let me tell you, they have Stanford Samuels III. They have Levanta Taylor and ditto for Lighton, ditto for Woodby at safety. They got talent there. But against our wide receivers and tight ends, I just don't think they can hang with us for 4 quarters. I really, really don't. Even with A-Rich out. Now, they have Ricky Aguayo as their kicker for FSU. Now, in the past, that's always been the kicking game. That has been in our favor. And it's been FSU's Achilles heel. That hasn't been the case recently. It really hasn't. And I'm hoping it's not close, and I don't think it will be. But if it is, I've got to give the edge, though, to FSU there. I have to do that. Now, we know this. They play hard when they play each other. We all know that. I've got to say, though, they're saying we're about 13. We're at almost a 2-touchdown favorite tomorrow. I got to say, in the end, the Canes win by 17 when it's all said and done. When you look at where FSU is right now and where the Canes are right now, I think, like I said, it's going to be close for about a half. But when you start looking at the depth, when you start looking at the talent in key positions and playmakers and coaching, I think in the second half, like I said, in middle third, I think you're going to start to see the Canes start to take over, start to pull away, start to impose their will on FSU and get FSU tired in the 4th quarter. I think in the end, I've said this before, I'll say it again, I'm going Canes 38, FSU 21. 38-21 Canes tomorrow. That's my take on it. I don't know if any of you have any questions. I'll be opening the floor to questions if you have any questions regarding the game tomorrow. Any questions? Is there any, I don't know. The way I see it is this. I think if we don't beat ourselves, I think we win this game going away. The offense clicks. Malik Cozy gets going. I think Canes win this game handily tomorrow. I really, really believe that. I don't think so. I don't think so only for this reason. When you watch where Cozy is and Malik working with him, I think you have to stay with Cozy because of the fact that you want to see how he does in this rivalry. He has a chance to really cement himself as one of the top quarterbacks in the country and cement his lore as FSU against Miami. I mean, Malik won this game last year in the fourth quarter. Like I said, I don't see this game coming down to the fourth quarter tomorrow. I really don't. I see this game being a runaway. I see this game being a Canes blowout in the second half. I see a lot of things happening tomorrow. I really, really do. Now, all the great ones make their mark in this game. Dalvin, Dunn, the drive in 2000 with KD, Gino in 92 to Lamar, and then Walsh to Irvin in 87. Yes, Malik struggled last year, and he got late game heroics to get the victory up at Doak last year. But now it's Cozy's time. These are the kind of moments that you get Cozy in there for. It's this game. It's this game tomorrow. It is this game tomorrow. The way I look at it, I say if we don't beat ourselves, Canes will win this game handily. And also the turnover chain has got to really make a presence tomorrow. It really must make a presence in this ball game. And that's what this defense relies on, the turnover chain. That fires up the team, that fires that crowd up. I'll tell you this. I can give Francois his scores, but mainly after the game's decided. You know, Frenchie will get they'll get their points. And I still think like I said, I think they're going to win by 17 tomorrow. I think we're going to win big in this game. This time we have the home field. We have the staff continuity, of course, home field. We've got the playmakers in this game. Let me tell you this. FSU is 109th in the S&P Plus on offense, while we're 26th. In the late 80s and in the 90s, and it was defense. In 2000s, early 2000s, you had the offenses. If FSU could run the ball, it might be closer than people think. If they can't run the ball, we stop the run early. I can tell you something. It might get ugly at Hard Rock tomorrow. It really could get ugly there tomorrow. See, Francois may have the experience, but his offensive line is horrific. It's terrible. Perry's line is okay. It's getting better and as the weeks go on. I look at Cozy. I say, you know, I say, like I said Canes by 17. I just really believe this go round, the Noles, like I said, do not have the firepower to hang with us for 4 quarters. They really don't. Not this time. Like, this is not the big, bad FSU we've known to fear in the past. The Jimbo years, the Bobby years, etc. This is not that FSU. You're not going to see that FSU show up tomorrow. You're just not. I think what you're going to see from us is a team out on a mission, ready to play this game, and this team making a statement early. If there were ever a chance to make a true statement game, I'm looking at you, offensive line. It's time for you to stand up and be counted and make a statement. It is time to impose your will. It is time to make sure you guys send a message for the rest of the season and say, listen, we're going to impose our will and there's nothing you can do about it. Defenses. Cozy Perry, time for you to make a statement. This is your first start against FSU on your 3rd career start overall. Show the world that you had all that potential you came out of Ocala Vanguard. Make a statement in this game tomorrow. Make a statement. DJ, Travis Homer, impose your will against that FSU defense early and often. Defense, Canes defense. Manny Diaz, Coach Diaz. Unleash the dogs. Just come after them. Come after Francois over and over and over again. And stop the run. Make FSU one-dimensional. That's what I'm looking for tomorrow. I'm looking for that in this game. I really am looking for that. You're going against a team that's averaged 97 yards a game on the ground. And that's after playing Sanford. Your running game is averaging 213 yards behind DJ and Travis. I say it's time to get it done. It's time to make a statement. It's time to impose your will. You have to impose your will. You know something, Coach Rick? Open up the playbook. If there were ever a game to say, throw caution to the wind, just open it up. Just open the playbook. Find page 500 in that playbook. Get a play from that page and really use it in this game tomorrow. Find a way. Get the job done. That's my challenge. Impose your will tomorrow. Impose your will. With that, I'm out. Good night. And go Canes.